What's up guys, Brett Medlock here, and I know this is a weird location. I'm just doing videos in my kitchen. My kids are home from school, they're on summer break, so I wanted to still make videos. I can't go down to my studio and do it, so I'm just doing it right here. So sorry if you hear noise in the background. That'll be them playing, messing around. I might have to run away. You'll see some cuts if something happens or anything. They're always falling and stuff. Anyway, I wanted to talk about the EA press conference that just happened earlier this weekend. Happened on Saturday night. They were the first one to go at it, and I liked a lot of stuff they showed. First off, they unveiled Anthem. They didn't do the full unveiling, but Anthem is BioWare's next game. BioWare, famous for the Dragon Age series, Mass Effect series, if you've played them. I won't even go into that game because technically it wasn't unveiled at this conference. Anyway, they talked about Anthem a little bit. They told us it was going to be the next day at Xbox's conference, and then it's there. So anyway, aside from that, they showed off some of their EA originals, which is what they call them now. A Way Out. It looks like a really fun co-op game. This game is 100% meant to be played in co-op. Unlike a lot of previous games that focus heavily on co-op, like The Division and Destiny and stuff like that, it's optional still. But this game, you have to play in co-op. So if you don't have any friends, you're pretty much screwed. I'm screwed. It looks really cool. The only thing that I wasn't really sure about, I actually read up on it, is apparently it's split screen even if you're playing on two separate TVs. Like, let's say I'm at my house and my friend's at his house. Even if we're both playing on two different consoles, the screen's still split, so you can always still see what they're doing. So I think that's kind of weird. I kind of don't want to know what they're doing, because I feel like if I didn't know what the other person was doing, it would entice me to play through the game twice, one as one character and the other one as the other guy. So that's a little unfortunate, but maybe I'm wrong. But from what I read and from what I've looked up on, the screen is split almost the entire game, and there's no way of getting around it. Anyway, the story looks really interesting. It's about two people who are like breaking out of prison. Unfortunately, like usual, the trailer gives away way too much, so we know they get out of prison. But other than that, I think it's an indie game technically. I know it's being published by EA, but the presentation was like, it looks pretty good, almost AAA. Of course, they showed off a bunch of their sports stuff, which I personally am not interested in one bit, except with the unveiling of Madden, they announced Madden this time around is going to have a story similar to FIFA, and I think their NBA game had a story as well. I think it's really cool because now it's like the whole, people complain every year because these sports games are the same every single year. They still buy it, but they complain every time. Now this time, EA can officially say it's not the same game. If they continue making stories for each one of these games, and it's not the same story, it's definitely not the same game. Sure, the mechanics are all the same, the gameplay is really similar, but at least you're getting a different story, a different value to your purchase besides just the regular old season mode and stuff like that. Anyway, one game that I wasn't really interested in that I actually really like, well, I don't know if I like it yet, but it actually looks really awesome, is Need for Speed Payback. But yeah, I was getting really serious Fast and the Furious vibes and Burnout vibes, because you're crashing into cars. There's actually damage on the cars. I haven't played any of the Need for Speeds recently. I don't know how common that is, but there's like really detailed damage on the cars, which I like. And it does this like slow motion thing when you run into a car, which I think looks really cool. But if you're constantly running into cars over and over, I feel like that would kind of get annoying. So I don't think it should go into slow motion every single time you ram into a car. But anyway, aside from that, it actually showed some characters like getting out of their car, jumping onto a truck, which, from my knowledge, Need for Speed hasn't done. You rarely even see the characters outside their car, let alone during some like high action stuff like that. So we're getting like these action scenes that are basically Fast and the Furious stuff. So I think it's really cool. They did say that the customization will be better than ever. I haven't been heavily into a Need for Speed game ever since Underground and Underground 2. And apparently it's going back to that kind of stuff, like when it comes to customization, because they kind of went away from it for a while. But if that's the case, I'm going to be really happy, because I think it looks awesome. And my son Gavin, he thought it looked awesome. He was like watching the trailer. He was mad whenever it ended. So I was like, I'm going to have to buy this game. There is the Battlefield stuff. There's the DLC they announced. They're probably going to support the game for the next year until the next Battlefield comes out. So that'll be cool. I didn't really get around to playing the single player of Battlefield, but I really like the multiplayer. And aside from that, the biggest thing from their show that they put so much focus on, which is obviously worth it for them. It's going to be worth it to them, which is Star Wars Battlefront 2. This game looks really awesome. It's gorgeous. We're getting stuff from every single era of Star Wars, from the prequels to the new ones to the older ones. It's going to be really awesome. I like what they're doing, how they listen, and they said during the press conference, they listened to all the criticisms, and they kind of even like joked around about it, like they were being real with us. If there's one thing I like about game companies, it's when they're real with the consumer. They know what they did, they know they messed up, and now they're going to rectify those issues, and everything's going to be better. The EA show for a while was actually hosted by the voice actress of the main character in Star Wars Battlefront 2. So I thought that was really cool. I'm excited to play more of a game like that, and especially the single player. I'm super excited for that. So overall, I'm a bit weird when it comes to EA stuff because sports games don't really interest me. So what could be awesome for someone, like someone's probably super excited about like the Madden stuff and the FIFA stuff, the NBA stuff, and I'm just not. It's just not who I am. So I'm not going to take off any points or say anything bad about the sports stuff, but I'm glad that they didn't spend too much time on the sports. I thought that the past couple of years they talked about sports for too long, and I don't believe they talked about any mobile games, which is awesome because I hate when they spend like 20 minutes talking about a mobile game. No one here cares, honestly. Obviously, their mobile game is going to sell really good, but no one at E3, like 90% of people aren't really into that stuff. So I'm glad they didn't do too much sports stuff. They didn't do really any mobile stuff. So overall, I'd give the conference like an 8 out of 10. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was missing like that huge moment. Maybe if they would have unveiled Anthem at their own conference instead of saving it for Xboxes, it would have been a lot better of a show. But anyway, I'm going to jump into the Xbox stuff in my next video. Hope you like this one. Tell me if you want me to keep doing stuff like this where I'm just talking to the camera. It's a lot easier for me. I don't have to really do any editing, so sorry if it's boring, but if you want my opinion on stuff, just let me know and I'll make a video about it. Subscribe, hit that like button, I'll talk to you guys later.